Hey, Leonard here. As the first AC, one of the main parts of your job is prepping the camera and the gear needed for that specific job. This is done on the prep day before the shoot. Unless you're doing a long job like a feature film, a TV show, or even a multi-week commercial, you typically will get one prep day. For those long jobs, you will get multiple days or even multiple weeks to prep the camera. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Our goal by the end of the year is to get 25,000 subscribers. Before we get to that prep day, there are some important things you need to do and some information you're going to need to have everything ready for that camera prep. Let's start with where the camera prep will be. Typically, a DP will have a preferred rental house that they always go to because they've developed a relationship with the business rep at that rental house. There are times where a DP is from out of the state or even out of the country, and they will ask which rental house you prefer for that job. Over time, as a first AC, you will also develop relationships with different rental houses and have your preferred place to go. Another factor that will play into which rental house you end up using is lens choice. Many times DPs will have a specific lens they want to use for a job, and that can determine which rental house you use. For example, anamorphic lenses such as Panavision E-Series, G-Series, or the Primo anamorphics can only be rented at Panavision. There are other anamorphic lenses that only a few rental houses may have, like the Hawk anamorphics. Or it could be that they want rehoused vintage K35s, Canon FDs, or Super Baltars. Not all rental houses have these lenses, and it could determine where you get your camera package. This isn't always the case, and a rental house can sub-rent lenses from each other so that they can get the lenses that you need, but rental houses use those rare lenses to get some of their business. Panavision is the best example of this. You can only get Panavision lenses from Panavision. They do not sub-rent their lenses to other rental houses. And finally, on a rare occasion, a production company may have a deal with a rental house and always go through that rental house. Or it could be that the production company has their own camera gear. If that's the case, never take their word for it when they say that everything works and that they have everything that you need. Always do a prep day. The DP or the director may want something that the production company doesn't have with their camera package. Okay, so now you know which rental house you'll be prepping at. Now we need to figure out what the hell to get. Now, part of this is going to come down to the DP you are working with. Some DPs know exactly what they want down to every little piece and accessory, and will send you a list or the rental house the list. There are other DPs who are completely hands-off and want the first AC to take care of the whole list. You can tell pretty quickly as you talk to them which one they are. First things first, if you don't already know, ask the DP what camera and lenses they want to use. Then you want to ask if there are any specialty items. For example, a low angle prism, a probe lens, or like a lambda 3-axis head. Next, you're going to want to ask the DP what kind of build modes you're going to be using, such as will you be going handheld, dolly, Steadicam, technocrane, or even like a gimbal. It's important to know all these different build modes you're going to be in so you can easily switch from one mode to the other as fast as you can. Don't worry, in the prep series, we do go over handheld, studio, and zoom builds. Right now, it's important to get as much info as you can before the prep. The last major thing to ask the DP is what filters they want. Most of the time, it's usually the basics like ND, Rotopola, diopters, and a clear filter. They may also want ND soft grads. Many DPs will have their go-to diffusion filters such as BPM, HBM, or Classic Soft, or one of the many other flavors. Always get them in a range of strength like eighth, quarter, half, and 1. Each type of diffusion has different numbers for their strength, so pay attention when you're getting those filters. Now we're getting into the more nitty-gritty gear. Ask if they have a DP monitor preference. Some people like Flanders over Sony OLED for lighting. Ask about onboard monitor preference or handheld grip preference. These are more quality of life things. Sometimes it may just come down to what the rental house has. From there, we can fill in the gaps with the camera list. Pick what wireless focus system you like if you don't own one. Same for your wireless video. And then add your basics of your head, sticks, hi-hat, batteries, other AKS you might need, and any additional monitors from the DP and focus monitor. Now it's time to talk to the production about a few things. One of the first things I always ask production is, do we have a camera truck with a lift gate? I also ask if we will be sharing with another department or if it's a dedicated camera truck. Many times they will try to put camera on with production supplies or throw sound on your truck as well. They also will try to put the dolly package on your truck, which can take up much of the needed space. So definitely make sure you find out how big the truck is and what's going on it. Now let's find out who is budgeted for the prep. Is it just you, or can a second AC prep with you as well? Will the DIT or Steadicam or gimbal operator be at the prep too? Generally, every camera on the job gets at least one first AC to prep it. Production will absolutely fight you on this on lower budget jobs, but it even happens on the big budget ones. On 2 big budget Marvel commercials I did back to back with the same production company, they tried to make me prep 2 huge camera packages with multiple build modes and shoot VFX distortion charts and framing charts. Oh, and we only had 1 day to do it. I had to fight tooth and nail, and I even had to get the DP involved because they would not budge. It would have been physically impossible for me to have had both cameras ready and to do all the additional stuff that they needed. We had to tell them multiple times, and they finally approved the budget to add another first AC to the prep. So be warned, even if they have the money, they will absolutely penny pinch. Don't get angry. Just explain to them they won't have a camera ready in the morning, and it will take you much longer than if you had just had the right personnel at the prep. It also could be that you might not have something you need to shoot because you weren't able to fully prep and make sure that you had everything. Now that we have the people that we need at the prep, let's find out if there's going to be VTR and if sound needs anything from us on the job. What is VTR? They provide video assist and provide monitors for a director village or a video village. They are also responsible for playback if the director wants to rewatch a take. When it comes to the sound department, they may need an adapter to add a lav mic receiver to the camera. All you have to do is email production for these people's contact info. Having VTR makes the camera team's job way easier. We don't have to touch any of those monitors. If there isn't VTR, get ready to move monitors around a lot. And you're gonna have to track down a handheld monitor that the director doesn't remember where they set it down. This means we have to have all those monitors at the prep from the rental house, because VTR will not be providing any monitors because there is no VTR. Typically there isn't VTR on low budget films or music videos or non-union commercials. There are exceptions on both sides, so it's always good to ask. You may get pleasantly surprised that there is VTR. Finally, if you are doing any specialty rigs like a crane, Steadicam, or gimbal, you will want to reach out to those operators and make sure that you have everything that you need, or if they need anything from you. Also, they may ask for you to build the camera to fit inside a specific dimension. These are all things that you're going to need to know when you're building the camera at the prep. This should be a good starting point before you get to your prep. You want to make sure you can get all the information you can so that you can talk to the rental house about adding any items that you may need. You don't want to get surprised, end of day at the prep and be like, oh my gosh, we have to add all these new things, and then you're going to be there even way later, or you may not even get them until the next day while you're on set. So make sure you get as much information from all the departments that you need to get that prep rolling. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments and I'll try to reply to them. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Going off walkie.